Hello, it's Mary Beth from StencilGirl Products. I'm here again with my wellness journal. And I know last month I mentioned the fact that I think wellness is a big focus right now, at least for me. I don't know about you, but it is for me. So I've been clinging to this journal with my little nails. And I'm going to switch the camera and show you what I've been up to this month. All right, here is what I've done. I'm sharing October 2024, and it's very interesting. I was going through, as is often my habit, I go through a bunch of just collage stuff before I work in my journal, and I kind of keep it hanging out like at the side of my workspace, and I pick it up and use it from time to time during the month. And one of the first things that I saw was a page, I think it was from back in the day when I used to get Flow magazine. Does anybody else remember that? I used to love that magazine, and I hate that it isn't available anymore. But this was part of Flow magazine, and I just tore it out because I'm like, must use, must use. It's crucial to stop and evaluate your life on a regular basis. Indeed, that's a thumbs up in case you can't see it. 2 thumbs up. So yeah, I put that down on the page before I did anything else. So here's the front and the back, and I was using a variety of collage parts. So typically, I start my pages one way or another. One way is I glue a bunch of random collage items down. Things that seemingly don't interact with one another, but I just glue them down with a glue stick onto the page. And then I will just start painting with watercolor and with acrylic. Usually I use the Paper Artsy in my journal. They're fresco finish paints. So this one I did collage first. The other way I do it is the other way around, where I'll start with paint and then I'll put the collage on top of it. And then both ways, I go in and I add finishing parts later on. So for me, it's pretty easy. I just go one way or the other. So when you flip it over to the gatefold part, I have the pages that are facing each other. And again, I had things that I had cut out. This was one of these little small, those baby collages I make, and then I made little stitching marks. These are the finishing marks, right? More of these words and some of that PET tape, P-E-T. It's that real wide tape that you have to tear apart, and it goes down there, it glues down. It's so cool. I love it. Seth Apter sells it if you're looking for it. And then when you spread out the page, you can see what I've done inside. I actually started over here on this side, and I had this picture of this tree that I really liked. I tore it apart, put it upside down here, continued the tree, put part of it here. You know, this is what I do. I play with the pieces and the parts, and that's why I have so much fun using my journal. Here, this area around here, these are the rub-ons that I used around this little bit. And then this is a stencil. I love this little stencil. I'll put the number down below because I do love it. This is another piece of that PET tape, SethApter.com. Love it. And just some other random marks. These are some painted things that I've made in the past and some scribble things. But it all ends up coming together. I think that's what I love about collage the most. To me, collage is a metaphor for life. It's a bunch of disparate parts that somehow end up going together, right? All right, so that's the first spread. Now these two I'm going to show you together because I just did something weird on these. I had done these 2 pages and I really liked them a lot. And I used this stencil of mine. This is one of my mortar stencils. It's like I designed a couple of these, and I just really like them. They're bricks and mortar, and I don't know. I love the way they dance across the page, and they did it here, and then I went back and went around them with pencil. And then over here, I just drew into the paint with pencil, kind of like the mortar, right? And I love that. So I think, I don't know, I'm obsessed with rocks. I always have been, and that's part of that. Another small collage group, another small collage group. This one created on the page. This one created outside the page. I keep a box of these in my studio so that I can use them, and love that, having small collages on hand. Here are the boxes. So this is a box of the small collages that I make. And oh my God, I've been making these for years and years and years. And I have them in a few places around the studio. But as you can see, like here I use some sewing, I use little doodle parts. Here I used a word. They're extremely fun to make and to have on hand and to add onto, you know, your journal bits or any other parts, any other substrate you might be working on, right? But I love it because you can add it in and it'll maybe just complete something. So I love it. And then but there's more. I have a second box, scraps, tiny collage parts. So these are the parts that I will grab, like if I'm just in the mood to make up some. Like here's one I've started, but I don't think this one is finished yet. So I guess we could just work on one right now. I could show you what I mean, right? Let me grab a palette here, and I will grab a glue stick. And oh, it's a brand new glue stick. Look at that. And let's just start, and I'll show you what I do. So, okay. I like it when, like if this is a part from that I tore off from a spiral bound book, probably a Canson mixed media book if I know how I am. And I like it to leave like little openings around like that because I just love how that looks. So I'm going to tear this off. This is roughly in a similar motif. And you just don't have to think too hard about it, right? Because you're just adding little bits here and there that are going to eventually be used in who knows what down the road. So it's really fun to do this without any concern for the final result. That is my favorite part, right? You know how we're so focused on final result, final result. Where are we going with this? What's it going to look like? Does it have a composition? Does it have, you know, all the elements of art in it? Well, guess what? We don't even have to worry about this here because we are just literally gluing things together. I'm having a tough time with this one because this is a heavier piece of paper, so it'll be fine once it glues down. But look at these little parts I've left here. I like that. You can see it with the gray. I think that one's about done now, right? Love it. Oh, here's another one I started. I must have started these at the same time because it's that same type of paper. Oh, look at this one. This one is some sort of a collage, or a stenciled bit. Yay. And you can see these also go together because they have some of the same elements in their background, which is always nice. I'm going to put this one away though now. Oh, and look at this little book part. Let me grab my scissors here. I do love these texture bits. Fun to put them in. And then this is that glue stick. It'll switch over to clear, so it, you know, it won't remain purple like that. I kind of like that kind of glue stick though because I can see where I'm putting it, and that always pleases me, right? All right, now here's a piece. This must have been part of something I was painting, And this is real thick. This is one where I would peel it apart. Well, not right there because that one isn't going to do it. But here, I think I'll be able to grab it here and peel it. And so what I'm trying to do then is to just peel the front part of this thick paper off. So I've got the painted part. Yeah, here we go. See how it's going to come apart? And that way, when you glue it down, they're going to be more of a similar weight. Let's just go like this and get this bit here. So that's good. I do love doing this. It's so fun, right? I mean, oh, look at this writing. Beginner, beginner, beginner. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. In this instant, I think I do want the whole word on there because it's just beautiful penmanship. Actually, the back of it was so pretty. It's one of these, you want to save the front and the back, right? That's very pretty though. Very pretty. So I don't do these with any particular shape in mind. I would say that frequently they do turn into, you know, kind of little squarish shapes because I typically don't use circles when I'm making these. However, I was thinking it might be fun to make them using some circle punches, you know, or even punches of other shapes. That might be fun to do. I want one more piece like right there. Let's see what we want here. Maybe a little bit of this black right there. Oop. Okay, so yeah, so we've got a couple more made. All right, so now I'm going to show you these other two, the backs of these two pages where I used similar parts, okay? And let me put the lid on this. Oh, I've lost the lid already. Here it is. Note to self, if the lid dries up, just bring it back up and take an X-Acto and slice the end off. I will have to say I have to do that more frequently than I would like to admit, but it does allow you to still use the glue stick. All right, so these two are good, and now I'm going to flip them over and show you what I did. These are two backgrounds that I started with just paint. So I started with some of my paper artsy colors. You can see them around here. And then I took some watercolor on top and just let them kind of drip out. And then I took a pencil and made some meandering lines. And I'm very happy with how it looks. I did not really think about going any farther with it because this was very much the mood I was in, and these pages were extremely therapeutic to me. So I'm not sure that I'm going to glue anything on them, but I do want to show you how these little collage bits, or these little tiny collages, I should say, would allow you to start a page. There's so many different ways. What I usually do if I'm using one is I try to anchor it somewhere. And so really the anchor could be anything, any part of it, right? Like here, you could anchor it at the side and the bottom. So let's say I was going to do that, then I would just keep working off of that anchor, that so-called anchor. We could anchor it up here, and then the word would be right side up, the word beginner. We could think of this as do our golden mean grid, you know, the thirds, and so we could look for our highlight points and we could add it to there. If I did that, I would probably still try to grab an anchor, but here would be one. You know, so there's so many ways to approach this. And when I anchor it, sometimes what I will do is then continue the lines up or around to kind of make it look like, oh yeah, that was there the whole time. Because I like this idea of over, under, you can't tell what part went on for what went down first, and it all sort of blends together at one point or another. So that's important for me to track that. So if I were going to add these, I would probably pick a point and glue it down and then continue to add some collage all around it. Here's this other one. It's so funny. When you make these small collages, they almost always match everything. Because here's the deal. You're using little scrap bits of paper from things you've made over and over and over. I mean, how long have I been adding to this box? And I'll just say it's not the only box I have of such items. So, you know, it could match either of these, and I bet you anything it could go with other things as well. So just keep it in mind. Make small parts out of your small parts. Small collages out of your small parts, and then you will have them on hand to put into your journal or to put into whatever you're working on. Uh-oh, I need to re-glue my letters here on the front because they're obviously not sticky enough. Okay, I'm off to glue these. I hope you're off to do some journaling, and I will see you next time. Take care.